Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, councillors and staff, and welcome everybody to the July OCM. I'd like to recognise Emily from the ABC and Jeff from the Esperance Weekend. We're entering our press gallery. Also the senior staff that are here, so Roy, Matt and Felicity, and of course the CEO, our Minute Secretary and media people that are here, and also the other councillors that are here today. I'll start by acknowledgement to country. So the Shire of Esperance acknowledges the Kepaka Wurundjeri people of the Noongar Nation and Naju people who are the traditional custodians of this land and their continuing connection to land, waters and community. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging, and we extend that respect to other Aboriginal Australians today. Item 2 is attendance. I'll run through those that are here. Obviously, Councillor McMullen is on a leave of absence. Who's seen some of his photos. He's thoroughly enjoying Canada by the look of it, so that's a good thing for him, I guess. All other people are here, so welcome. I'll move on to item 4, which is applications for leave of absence. Are there any applications for leave of absence? Councillor Davies.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to put forward an application for leave from the 8th to the 13th of August inclusive, and the 28th to the 28th of August to the 25th of September inclusive.
Thank you. Are there any other applications for leave? Councillor Graham?
Yeah, I'd like to apply for leave of absence from the 1st of the 8th to the 10th of the 8th, please.
Any other applications for leave of absence? So I'm willing to move that we accept those applications. Councillor Oborne, and seconded Councillor Hass. There's no further discussion. Those in favour? 8 votes to nil. Thank you. Item 5 is announcements by the person presiding, and which there is none. Item 6 is declarations of members' interest. Does anyone have any declarations of financial interest? Any declarations of proximity interest? And declarations of impartiality interest? Councillor Johnson.
I'd like to declare an impartiality interest in item number 12.1.1, the Caravan Park and Camping Ground Licence. As one of the owners of the Caravan Parks is known to me, and also some family members own permanent sites in that park also. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Walker?
Through the Chair, I'd like to declare an impartiality in item 12.3.3, the new lease for the Esperance Multi-Sports Pavilion, as I'm a member of the Esperance Hockey Association.
Thank you. Are there any further impartiality? I would also like to declare an impartiality interest in item 12.4.2, the Westec Assemblage, as I've participated in their 2024 event and had some involvement with that group for the last 12 to 18 months. If there's no further declarations, I'll move on to item 7, public question time. Only the media here, there is no public. Go to item 8, which is public addresses and deputations. Are there any public? No. Item 9 is petitions. Just no petitions. Item 10 is confirmation of minutes. Everyone should have received the minutes that was sent out when the agenda was also sent out. Does anyone have any queries or questions in regards to the minutes? Can I have someone move that the minutes, Councillor?
I did mean to send an email about this, but to do with the foreshadowed motion that Councillor McMullen put up, the wording was incorrect because it actually said to authorise the CEO, and it should say direct the CEO, because the CEO doesn't need authorisation to do anything. So does that get changed or it just stays as an error?
The motion was
So it
moved
just
at
stays?
the time and
Yep, that's fine. I think it's incorrect, but that's fine.
are there any further questions?
Was the motion recorded as it was moved and approved and by council? So therefore it is correct?
Yep.
Whether it's valid or not, that's another question.
The wording is incorrect because it should say direct and not
No, but
authorised.
the motion that was moved was recorded in the minutes as it was moved.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
the minutes are correct.
Yes, thank you.
Are there any further queries? Can I have someone move that the minutes of the council meeting on the 25th of June? Councillor Davies?
I would like to move that the minutes of the ordinary council meeting of 25th of June 2024 be confirmed as a true and correct record.
You do have a second for that motion? Councillor Dahas, thank you. There's no further discussion. I'll take it you're ready to vote. Those in favour? Those against? 7, 8, 4 and 1 against. Item 11, the delegates report without discussion, which is up on the board. So we'll start with Councillor Stasovich. Do you have anything further to add?
No, thanks, Mr. President. That's correct.
Councillor Johnson?
No, nothing to add, thanks.
Councillor Davies?
Could I please have the business after hours on the 27th of June recorded as well, please?
Councillor Flanagan?
As tabled, thank you, Mr. President.
Councillor Dahas?
As tabled, but I would just like to make a comment on Winter Wonderland, just to say what a fantastic day it was and what a great job that the Shire staff did in bringing that to us. I can't put into words what a fantastic day it was and how many people were there. It was just incredible. Really well done. Great work.
Thank you. Councillor Graham? Councillor Oban?
I just need to please make 2 changes, Minute Secretary, on the 18th of June. I went to the regional, RCC, Regional Coordinating Committee. And just wanted to wish the Shire President happy birthday on the record. Do we sing?
Thank you. And I'll leave mine as tabled. Thank you very much. Item 12, matters requiring determination of council. So item 12.1.1, caravan camping ground licence renewal. Mr. Grieve, do you have anything further to add to this or any comments you wish to make?
Thank you, Chair. No, nothing further at this time.
Does anyone have any questions in regards to Councillor Oban?
We asked the question last week, did all 12 caravan parks have adequate public liability insurance policies? Where did we land with that, please?
Thank you for the question. Through the Chair, the caravan parks all have the appropriate insurances to operate as a caravan park.
Any further questions? Do I have anyone wishing to move the officer's recommendation or alternate? Councillor Flanagan?
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to put forward an alternate motion, if I could. So my alternate motion is that Council authorise the Chief Executive Officer to 1, sign and issue caravan park licences for 12 months from 1 July 2024 to 30 June 2025 for Mungalup Beach Caravan Park, Bathurst Paradise Caravan Park, Esperance Bay Holiday Park, RAC Esperance Holiday Park, Duns Eco Park, Pink Lake Tourist Park and Nakuru Pastoral Nature Farm Stay. And 2, sign and issue caravan park temporary licences for 6 months from 1 July 2024 to 31 December 2024 for Acclaim Pine Grove Holiday Park, Orleans Bay Caravan Park and Bushlands Caravan Park.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder for that motion? Councillor Graham. Councillor Flanagan, do you wish to speak to your motion?
Thank you, Mr. President. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate the Shire officers in the work that they've done over the last 12 to 18 months in relation to the the compliance with our caravan parks. It's been excellent work and it's been really necessary. Also, I'd like to acknowledge the important role that our caravan parks play in our tourism industry and in providing accommodation to people that come to visit our region. As outlined in the councillor's report, the officer's report, Council has been progressively working with our various caravan parks through a range of matters related to their compliance. In that process, it's been a journey for all of our caravan park owners in terms of their the level of compliance that they've reached, and hence my proposal to differentiate those that are a fair way down the path of compliance and full compliance, and acknowledging then that they should be issued with a 12-month licence, those that are actually specified in my motion, and those that are probably a little bit not as far down the track but are actually working in good faith and progressively with councillors to achieve compliance. My view is that they should be continue to be able to operate. They play an important role in our tourism industry and the economic development, economics of our region. But I feel as if because they're not so far down the compliance journey, that a 6-month licence would be appropriate to allow them to actually complete their compliance. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a speaker against the motion? Councillor Johnson.
Yes. Only because I did send that email earlier, and I just think I appreciate what you're saying about temporary licences for the 3 high-risk ones, but I just think it's ridiculous to have it fall on the 31st of December, which is the peak time for these caravan parks, and it's just really an unnecessary burden to put on them to have to do that when they're already so busy. So I did suggest making it a 9-month one, which would then expire at the end of March, which I think timing-wise probably would be better, but that's why I'm speaking against it. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Graham is the seconder. Do you wish to speak for the motion?
Yeah, totally support Councillor Flanagan's well spoken detail on that, and we do need to work together, and that's our motto. Together we work with our people to make things better, and that's what it's all about. Compliance is 365 days of the year issue, so I don't think the dates come into it on that point, but it's just a point that if they get better, we'll get better feedback from people travelling to Esperance and enjoying those caravan parks in the future. Thank you.
Is there a speaker against the motion? Speaker for the motion? There's no speakers for or against the motion. Councillor Flanagan, do you wish to have the right to reply?
Thank you, Mr. President. All I would say is that the compliance journey hasn't commenced today. Compliance journey has been in place or in play for at least 12 months, and I think that The extension of the licences through for a further 6 months is working in good faith with those caravan parks that are actually doing their best to become compliant. Thank you.
That closes the debate. Ready to vote. Those in favour of the motion? Those against? 7 for and 1 against. Thank you. Item 12.1.2, request for fee waiver at the Esperance Indoor Sports Stadium. Mr. Group, do you have any further comments, statements in regards to this item?
Thank you, Chair. No, not this time.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Grieve or anyone in regards to this item? No questions. Do I have someone that's willing to move the officer's recommendation or alternate motion? Councillor De Haas.
Yes, I'd like to move the officer's recommendation that council waive $640 in hire fees at the Esperance Indoor Sports Stadium for the Community and Employment Expo to be held on 12th of September 2024.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder for the motion? Councillor Starcevich, thank you. Do you wish to speak to your motion, Councillor De Haas?
Yes, this is a well-supported free event promoting employment opportunities locally. It attracts interest from potential employees and employers, as well as TAFE, high schools and the communities, and I feel it would be remiss of us to not waive this fee.
Thank you, Colin. Do I have anyone wish to speak against the motion? Councillor Starcevich, do you wish to speak for the motion?
No, nothing further to add.
Have anyone else wish to speak against the motion? Anyone wish to speak for the motion? There's no further comment. I'll take it you're ready to vote. Those in favour? Thank you. 8-0. Item 12.2. Item 12.2.1 is the MyRap Organics recycling facility. Mr. Walker, do you have any further statements or comments you wish to make?
I don't have any further statements or comments. Happy to answer any questions that councillors may have.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Walker in regards to this item? If there's no questions, does anyone wish to move the officer's recommendation on an alternate motion? Councillor Davies.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to move the officer's recommendation that Council 1 receive the MyRap Organics Stakeholder Engagement Report. 2, progress the MyRap Organics recycling facility with either a material aerated floor or aerated static pile as a preferred technology. And 3, receive further reports on MyRap Organics recycling facility as they become available.
Do I have a seconder for the motion? Councillor Oborne. Councillor Davies, do you wish to speak to your motion?
Thank you, Mr. President. As we know, as part of our waste strategy, we've committed to moving towards organic recycling along with the rest of the state. So this is an important step to move towards that. And as organics make up almost over 50% of our waste stream, it would be remiss of us to not continue working towards recycling our organics and turning it into a valuable resource.
Thank you. Is there anyone wish to speak against the motion? Anyone? Councillor Oborne is the second. Did you wish to speak for your motion?
Yeah, just to refer to the history of our journey on this issue. We modelled our new waste transfer facility on the assumption that FOGO would divert vast amounts of waste from the landfill, therefore reducing the transport costs. This is in line with Objective 5.1 in our council plan that we're trying to encourage sustainable practices, and this is the next step in working towards that. So we're not there yet, but this is the next step on that journey. So I encourage you to support us to keep going in that direction.
Thank you. Is anyone wishing to speak against the motion? Anyone wish to speak for the motion or an amendment? That's the end of the debate. I take it you're ready to vote. Those in favour? 8-0. Thank you. The next one is item 12.3, which is corporate community services. 12.3.1 is to rescind the electoral caretaker period on page 32. Ms Baxter, do you wish to make any comment or any further? Thank you. Does anyone have any questions in regards to this item? Do I have anyone wishing to move the officers? Councillor Flanagan. Councillor Flanagan.
I move the officer's recommendation that council rescind the electoral caretaker period policy.
Thank you kindly, I'll wear that. Do I have a second to Councillor Johnson? Thank you. Councillor Flanagan, do you wish to speak to your motion?
Thank you, Mr. President. Very self-explanatory. New caretaker period provisions came into force under the Local Government Act on 1st of July 2024, which removed the need for us to have a local council policy. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? Councillor Johnson, do you wish to speak for the motion as a second?
Well, I was all prepared. He stole my thunder. I think it's the first motion I was ever actually going to move that wasn't my own. It's all good. But yes, no, clearly it's an administrative item, and I was just really going to say exactly what you said. So, it's just standardising practice and making it to have no confusion going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? Any further speakers for the motion? There's no speakers for or against or amendments. Take it you're ready to vote. Those in favour? 8. Thank you. Item 12.3.2, the Financial Services Report on page 47. Again, Ms Baxter, is there any comments you wish to or anything you wish to bring? Thank you. Does anyone have any questions in regards to this item? Does anyone wish to move the office? Councillor De Haas.
Yes, I'd like to move the officer's recommendation that council receive the attached report entitled Monthly Financial Services Report for the month of June 2024.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder for the motion? Councillor Dasovich, thank you. Do you wish to speak to your motion, Councillor De Haas?
Yes, I certainly do. So here I am again, moving the officer's recommendation for the Financial Services Report. At this time of year, with all things budget in the wings, I believe that this report is more important than ever. It helps all of us to keep an eye on what is happening in each area and gives a far better understanding of it. For those watching online, on live stream, if you have never fully read this, I urge you to do so. So once again, many thanks to all those involved in bringing this report to us. Thank you.
Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? Councillor Dasovich is the seconder. Do you wish to speak for the motion? Thank you. Any further speakers against the motion, for the motion, or an amendment? I take it you're ready to vote. Those in favour? 8 again. Thank you. Item 12.3.3 is a new lease for the Esperance Multi-Sports Pavilion on lot 500 Black Street, Esperance. Ms Baxter, do you have anything further you wish to add with regards to this item? Thank you. Does anyone have any questions in regards to this item? Do I have anyone willing to move the officer's recommendation or an alternate? Councillor Oblong.
I wish to move the officer's recommendation that council enter into a new lease with the Esperance Hockey Association Incorporated for the multi-sports pavilion at the Greater Sports Ground, part lot 500 on deposited plan 411499, reserve 3287, Esperance WA 6450, subject to 1. Department of Lands approval, 2. The term of lease being 21 years. 3. The annual lease fee of $110 including GST, inclusive of GST, being payable. 4. Annual lease preparation fee of $155 including GST being payable. And 5. All lease terms and conditions being as per council standard community lease template.
Thank you, Councillor Oblong. Do I have a seconder for that motion? Councillor De Haas, thank you. Councillor Oblong, do you wish to speak to your motion?
Yeah, this is just a simple reassignment of the lease as outlined in the agenda item. They have requested the maximum 21-year lease available to them, and the officers had no concerns with this. I note that this is consistent with previous decisions that we've made, for example, with the Lions Club recently.
Thank you. Is there anyone wish to speak against the motion? Councillor De Haas is the second. Do you wish to speak for the motion?
No, thank you.
Are there any speakers against, for the motion or an amendment? Okay, so take it ready to vote. Those in favour? 8-0, thank you. Item 12.4.1 is the information bulletin for July 2024. Mr. Burge, do you have anything that you wish? No? Do I have anyone wishing to move the officer's recommendation or alternate? Councillor Davies.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to move the officer's recommendation that Council accepts 1. Information Bulletin July 2024, 2. Council Priority Summary Corporate Performance June 2024, 3. Status Report Open Council Resolutions July 2024, and 4. Letter Esperance Senior High School Upgrades Honourable Dr. Tony Booty MLA.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder for that? Councillor Johnson. Do you wish to speak to your motion, Councillor Davies?
Nothing further to add, thank you.
No worries. Does anyone wish to speak against the motion? Councillor Johnson, do you wish to speak for the motion as seconder?
No, nothing to add, thanks.
Do I have anyone wishing to speak against the motion? For the motion or an amendment? In that case, I'll take it ready to vote. Those in favour? 8-0, thank you. Item 12.4.2 is West Tech Assemblage sponsorship. Mr. Burge, do you have anything further to add to this item? Happy to answer. Does anyone have any questions in regards to this item? Councillor Johnson.
Thank you. I tried to ask this at the agenda but didn't get an answer, but I'm just going to ask the CEO, does he think this is good value for money?
So as I said at the agenda briefing, I have concerns as to what the Esperance community will get from the benefit of $5,000 going to an event that's being held in Perth. However, on the flip side of that, what I do think is that it would be positive to have regional representation there. What I am concerned about is, should Esperance be the only local government in Western Australia being paid for that privilege? So I guess that's where council's decision would come into effect. So I do see benefit to some extent, but whether Esperance should be paying for that benefit is the question that I would have.
Thank you very much.
Is there any further questions? Do I have anyone wishing to move? Councillor Flanagan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to move the officer's recommendation insofar as the council does not accept the sponsorship proposal of $5,000 for the West Tech Assemblage 2025.
Do I have a second for that? Councillor De Haas, thank you. Do you wish to speak to your motion, Councillor?
Thank you, Mr. President. My comments probably reflect what our CEO has just outlined. I don't think it represents fair value for money, and I don't believe that any representation of the issues that relate to being a regional council in this forum shouldn't be contingent on us providing a $5,000 sponsorship fee. So on that basis, I do not believe that we can support, or our council should support, a $5,000 sponsorship deal with West Tech Assemblage. Thank you.
Speaker against the motion? There was seconded. Do you wish to speak for the motion? Councillor.
I'd just like to add that in these days of tight budgets, I think it's not quite unfair, but a little bit unfair to ask $5,000 of us, especially when we don't see what benefits the Esperance community would gain from it.
Yeah. Do you have anyone wish to speak for the motion? Oh, sorry. Item 13, reports of committees. There is nil.
No.
Motions of which notice has been given. No notice. Members' questions with or without notice? Councillor Johnson.
It's just a little quick one. I hope you don't mind. I did actually mean to ask this at the agenda and forgot about it, and then I've been driving around the last few days and it's reminded me. I'd just like to ask how long the current street banners will be staying up, please. The reason why I'm asking is they look brand new, and I presume, I might just grab my glasses if you don't mind. Sorry. The reason I'm asking, they look brand new, and I presume that they were erected for NAIDOC Week, which was the first Sunday to the following Sunday in July, from the 7th to the 14th of July. And I'm witnessing them getting ruined, getting caught in the poles in this recent bad weather we are having. So I just wondered if they'd be coming down anytime soon to save more further damage.
Mr Walker?
Through the chair, so yes, NAIDOC Week was first week in July, but locally they're celebrating it later to coincide when school goes back, so that is, I think, almost now, early August, so they'll be up until it's celebrated locally, and then we'll take them down, so probably another couple of weeks.
Out of interest, when are they celebrating?
I haven't got those dates off the top of my head.
Thank you.
Is there any further questions with or without notice? Urgent business approved by decision.
Yes, we do have a late item, if council would consider that. It was sent around late last week, just in relation to the Bushfire Advisory Committee meetings and also the bushfire notice. Why this come in late is because the Bushfire Advisory Committee didn't meet until, I think it may have been Monday night.
Last week, yeah.
So therefore the minutes couldn't be done in time for the agenda. And why we really need them to go through is because we need council to approve or not approve the bushfire notice, because the bushfire notice also accompanies our rates notice, so we really need some direction on that, so we can send that out.
No worries, thank you. Do I have anyone willing to move the motion that we accept the late item? Councillor Oborne, do I have a seconder for that? Councillor Graham, thank you. Just wait for a minute. As it's procedural, we won't have discussion. Those in favour? Those against? 8-0. So councillors, the item was sent around last week. Did you
Yeah, it was late last week.
Do you wish to add anything other than?
I think it's reasonably straightforward. It's obviously just the minutes of the Bushfire Advisory Committee, and then a draft hazard reduction notice, which was considered by the Bushfire Advisory Committee at their meeting as well. So yeah, I think we're happy to take any questions on that.
Does anyone have any questions in regards to the bushfire notice and the minutes from that meeting? Do I have anyone that wishes to move the officer's recommendation that's up there on the screen, or an alternate? Councillor Graham.
I can move that. As chair of the meeting, I move that the council, one, accept the unconfirmed Bushfire Advisory Committee meeting minutes held on 15th July 2024, and two, endorse the draft hazard reduction notice 2024 to 2025.
Do I have a seconder for that? Thank you, Councillor Starcevich. Councillor Graham, do you wish to speak to the motion?
No, just to add that obviously we had discussions during the evening regarding the fatality on Boxing Day, and we just like to remember that, and we remember the work that these volunteers put in to protect our people. So,
Thank you. Do anyone wish to speak against the motion? Councillor Starcevich, do you wish to speak for the motion as a seconder?
Nothing further to add, thank you.
Anyone wish to speak against the motion? Anyone wishing to speak for the motion? Look, I'll speak for the motion as well. I'd just like to support Councillor Graham in his conversation about on his statements thanking those emergency service volunteers that we have here in the Shire. Certainly there is no way that we could function as a Shire without the number of volunteers and the willingness for those people to train and learn, and also to turn out on the days when people need help, whether they be fire, whether they be first aid or ambulance or state emergency service. So just in their recognition, thank you. There's no further speakers for or against, no amendments. I'll take it ready to vote. Those in favour? 8 opposed to nil, thank you. No matters behind closed doors this week?
No.
No. Public question time. Does either of the people from the media have any questions you wish to ask at this point? In that case, I will close the meeting. Thank you very much. No? No? No, that were confidential attachments to a meet. Thank you very much to the media. Thank